President of the Shah Foundation, doing work to empower young girls and women in Pakistan.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for coming. And let me fix this. It's maybe a little tall. It is problematic. So I'm very honored to be here to help Raees and support her in her candidacy. Now, after all these great speeches by people who have known her for 30-some years, I don't have much left, and I have the risk of repeating some of the things, so I'll try not to repeat, because I haven't known her for a long time. In fact, I've known her for probably a few months, but I feel like I have known her forever, because she's friendly, she's open, and every time she meets with me, it's like my family member meeting with me. So I started noticing her very early on, and there's a consistency in her friendship and networking, and there's authenticity to her that I have seen in very few people. So I'm not going to talk about her experiences, her education, her current position, because everybody has done that, and I think she meets the requirements, she exceeds the requirements of the candidacy, so I'm not going to talk about that. But I will talk on a personal level that every time I meet her, because I'm so scared of politics myself, I don't want to touch it with an 8-foot pole, so every time I meet her, I say, why are you doing this to yourself? Why do you want, you're such a beautiful person, why do you want to do this? And her eyes lit up, and she says, I care. I'm passionate about it. I want to make a difference. And that is really true. So I'm going to focus on what differentiates her from the other candidates, because she has the same experiences or even better. But really what differentiates her is that she is a representative of this community. She is a role model for all of us, especially women and girls. And we applaud her. She is one of those women who are unabashful, who are unapologetic. That's who we need as our leader in this community, and she does that. And the two topics of her platform are very key, so I'm going to repeat a little bit of that. And she has touched on, and others have talked about it, because a lot of candidates promise you everything. She is a progressive candidate that is going to create an environment of safety, health, and inclusiveness that we know. She's going to work on marginalized families to improve their standard of living. But the two topics that she's very passionate about and she touched on is really very important right now for the state and for America. The first is focusing on younger generation, their education and empowerment of our students. And I looked up some numbers, and they are staggering. They're mind-boggling. Until the April of this year, there's 43 million students who have borrowed loan, totaling about $1.4 trillion. On average, every student will graduate with a student loan debt of $33,000. And I'm very close to this topic because my organization gives scholarship to college students. And it could cost you somewhere from $5,000 to $50,000 a year. And if you cannot borrow, if you cannot have scholarship, you're stuck with a loan that you'll be paying for the rest of your life, if not rest, for at least few years into your job. And those are the years that you will not be able to help your family, you will not be able to help your community, buy your first home. And this is a topic that needs to be addressed, and she is very, very focused on. The second thing that she talks, and there's a lot of emotions because she does relate to it personally. She does not only have passion for it, but she can relate to it. She's gone through it. It's about mental health and illness that we all talk about in a very, in a way that is a taboo. We don't talk about it openly. We don't have healthcare system that supports it. And if you look at the numbers, one out of all of us, one out of 5 American adults will have mental disability or some sort of mental health problem. That makes about 40 million Americans with mental health care issues. And 56% of them will never be treated. So these are very big issues that she wants to champion. I just want to give those numbers to give you the sense that it's not just about, every day making things better. It's about making things better that have been broken for a very long time. And she needs our support for that. The third thing that I did mention earlier is her being a role model. She is a role model for men and women, but for women it's more so, because we're always looking for female role models who are strong, who believes in what their values are, who stands up for the value, who speak up. As Commissioner said, she's one of the few people who would speak her mind. So I don't want to take too much time, but I want to finish my speech with a young girl, Fatima, who wrote her, it was an email, I believe, and these are girls that we need to be focusing on. This is our future, our really future leaders, and they're looking to us. They're looking to our leaders. And let me see if I can find it. And I'll read a part of it as ending part of my speech, because that speaks to you how she focuses on the younger generation and how they're responding to her. So I'm going to just take a part of what she said. She said, Raees is raising her voice for the growing issues of the world that need to be resolved now. It is an honorable moment that a strong and hardworking woman of our very own community is reaching for empowerment, and now it is our time to come out and showcase our support. With this success, Yawer's election will not only be an inspiring story to the women all over the Chicagoland area and the state, and her success will create a pedestal of hope, determination, and passion for all of our young women, that they too can become the leaders of the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Iram. The numbers are staggering, and